Let's cross to eastern Ukraine and get the latest from there with our correspondent Gulliver Cragg, who's in Kharkiv. Gulliver, how have residents there been reacting to news of these referendums?
Mostly with defiance and a feeling that this is a sign that the Ukrainian army's victories in Kharkiv region have led the Russians to resort to rather desperate measures. I mean, it seems almost ridiculous to say that you're going to organise referendums across such a huge swathe of territory in the space of 3 days. They were announced on the 20th of September for voting to start on the 23rd of September. So I don't think anybody really doubts that these referendums are going to be a sham. On the other hand, though, people are worried perhaps about what the Kremlin's intentions behind it may be, and the dominating analysis seems to be the idea that by annexing this territory, Russia will then be able to claim that Ukrainian forces are directly attacking Russian territory as the Kremlin sees it, and the Kremlin will feel that it's allowed and perhaps that it can garner more public support for a stronger military response. And of course, speculation rages as to what that stronger military response may be. Vladimir Putin has at various times alluded to the possibility of using nuclear weapons. And so, of course, that's something that makes people in a way quite worried. But Ukrainian soldiers here are saying that they are not going to fall for this kind of scaremongering and hope that they will be able to push on beyond the borders of Kharkiv region and into Luhansk and Donetsk regions swiftly.
Ukrainian soldiers remain in good spirits after those major gains they've been making. Gulliver, what's the latest you can tell us about their counteroffensive?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, although they are in good spirits, a lot of them, and very proud of themselves, that's perhaps a bit too simplistic to say that they're in good spirits, because throughout this conflict, the Ukrainian armed forces have been suffering terrible, terrible losses, and all the soldiers have lost friends and comrades, and there's a great deal of sadness as well among them. And it's actually, they're the first people to remind members of the Ukrainian public to please don't be just celebrating and hopping around in glee at the reports of these military victories, because they're all coming at a high cost, and there's also, of course, a high cost to the country economically. But concretely, what's going on the ground, as far as I understand it, is that Ukrainian forces are gradually trying to push the Russians further back across the other side of the Oskil River, which runs through the eastern end of Kharkiv region near the town of Kupiansk, where I was a few days ago and heard shelling there. More shelling was reported there overnight. Ukrainian forces are also trying to take Liman, which is a town in the northern part of Donetsk region, and the Russians are fighting back and trying to, hit Ukrainian positions and Ukrainian infrastructure objects in various parts of the country. Last night, for example, just to give you an example, there was reportedly an attempt to hit the power station that provides electricity to the city of Slavyansk, which is one of the Ukrainian-controlled cities in Donetsk region.
All right, Gulliver Cragg, thank you very much for that update from eastern Ukraine, from Kharkiv.